for our county motorcycle patrolmen. As it is now, the patrolmen have to buy their own gasoline, uniforms, and in case of accident, have to pay their own hospital and doctor bills. It isn't fair, and the Elgin Motor Club would like to see Kane County's highway patrolmen placed on par with the officers of other nearby counties. The patrolmen themselves feel that they ought to have some protection against accident or death, stated Mr. Schmitz. With such a fund raised, and in case of emergency, their families would be protected.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.org.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 p.m., mostly cloudy, with a low around 73. Tomorrow, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny, with a high near 91. It feels like 99. Currently, it is 87 with mainly clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Find what you love, love what you find. A total wine and more. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B20.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-234-0316. 800-234-0316. That's 800-234-0316.
Clutter happens, but junk doesn't have to weigh you down. At the Junk Luggers, we're your full-service junk removal and hauling pros, tackling everything from single-item pickups to major cleanouts. We handle the heavy lifting, and with our commitment to the green way, we rehome and recycle to keep your unwanted items out of landfills. So, whether you're clearing out the garage, downsizing, or saying goodbye to old furniture, we make the process eco-friendly and easy. Call 1-800-LUG-JUNK or visit junkluggers.com today. Let's save your space and the planet together.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick, Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there I am. Been out of the studio for a little bit. Forgot how this thing works, actually being on the board. And here we are. I'm Derrick Geyer. Big Top Sports, WRMN, 1410 AM. And look at this. It looks like we've already got a caller on the line. So why don't we break from what I was actually going to do, take the caller. Let's see how this thing works. Caller, you are on the air. WRMN, Big Top Sports. Who am I talking to?
Mike Napolitano. How's it going, Derrick? How are you?
Oh, my goodness. It is the one, the only Mike Napolitano from not the Truth About Chicago Sports. That's Marcus Mack. He is the host, or one of the hosts. How many hosts you got these days?
We've got 10? 4 of us in total. There's Nick Johnson, as always, and then Dalton Cooper standing right next to me, and then we've also got Brandon Combs now. So it is a full table on Saturdays. We got no elbow room.
Yeah, the reason why I'm saying 10 was because when I was checking you guys out this week, looking you guys up on the WRMN, YouTube.com, I saw, it seemed like there was at least 10 or 12 people there.
Yeah, we had Jack Heinrich of WGN joining us to break down what he thinks is going to happen with the Chicago Blackhawks' 3rd overall pick in the 2025 NHL Draft.
Yep.
Coming up on Friday. And then, of course, we were also talking about the Jonathan Toews news, as well as, the recap of the Stanley Cup Final with 2 other guests that are from Chicago Hockey Radio. That was Tassos and Justin, really good guys, and they're also the hosts of B-Hawks memes. If anybody's checked out that Instagram account, they post some funny but accurate stuff. So it's always a good time with those guys. Gotcha.
Okay, so the reason why you are calling in today and gracing me with your presence, you're doing triple duty right now. You were at the Chicago White Sox game earlier today. I'm going to get to why you are actually on the air. I'm going to play this clip real quick, so bear with me, Mike.
This is from the previous pitching change. Torey Lovullo with Ketel Marte in tears on the pitcher's mound, waiting for the reliever to come in, consoling Ketel Marte, who was in tears, kneeling down behind second base, being consoled by his teammates.
Not sure, but you saw a couple guys come over to console him a little bit.
It was a terrible moment. Fans are nasty, and fans go too far sometimes. And I love my players, and I'm going to protect them. I've known Ketel for 9 years, and he's had some unbelievably great moments and some hardships as well, and some really, really tough moments in his life. And I know those. At the end of the day, we're human beings, and we have emotions, and I saw him hurting, and I want to protect him. I love you, and I'm with you, and we're all together, and you're not alone. No matter what happens.
And that was Torey Lovullo, courtesy of MLB.com. Now, Mike, you were obviously at the game today, as I had alluded to. What was the mood like once you were actually there, and the White Sox, putting out, the statement, obviously. Comment on that, and then what I'll do is I will play the video portion of your interview with the coach of the Chicago White Sox.
Right, yeah. They had immediately posted a graphic up on the video board that said, baseball is family, and we stand with Ketel Marte, and you could even tell the crowd today was in his favor, even as he was warming up on the field beforehand. And every time he stepped up for the plate, it was not only Diamondback fans that were in attendance that were cheering him, it was the entire stadium full of White Sox fans that were cheering him on and backing him up as well. Unfortunately, he did go 0 for 4 on the day. I'm not sure if, anything as far as emotions played a factor into that. I think it was more so just Sean Burke of the White Sox was dealing today. But, no, it was a good atmosphere today, and, it was good to see the response from the baseball community like that, especially you talked about Torey Lovullo, manager of the Diamondbacks, that has been a father figure to Ketel. So, there's a really close relationship there. We got to hear that side of things from last night, but I went into the Will Venable press conference after the game today wanting to hear the White Sox side of things, of course.
Yeah, and currently right now I am having a hard time pulling it up, unfortunately. And all I have to say is damn, because that was the reason why I wanted you on right now.
That's okay. Well, me being on, I can kind of recap it a little bit, and then of course we have it up on all of our On the Rise socials already. Our co-host Dalton Cooper is also our social media guy. He was sitting in traffic on his way here to the Fire game and was on the ball. I mean, he posted that stuff immediately. So we are Johnny on the spot with that clip. But basically, Will Venable was saying that he hadn't heard any of what had happened with the MLB statement on things. And I said MLB statement. What I meant by that is, the MLB didn't fully come out and make a statement. It was more so ESPN reporting on the fact that the White Sox organization themselves had banned the 22-year-old fan who, made references at Ketel Marte's mother, who passed away in a tragic car accident in 2017. And that's, of course, overstepping. That's crossing a line. And you feel for Ketel Marte. And the White Sox have sent out, as per Will Venable, he said the White Sox have sent out a letter to the organization and their heartfelt sympathies, letting them know that they stand with Marte. And, Will Venable just, I was asking him more so, about the atmosphere and the fan response to it. He thought, it was great to hear that from the crowd today as well. So I was surprised there was a lot of big people in that room interviewing Will Venable, and they went right into the Luis Robert injury, which was, of course, also pressing.
Right.
He left the game in the first inning due to calf soreness, and then they were going into Lenin Sosa's 2-home run game, which was his first multi-home run game of his career. And he had, I believe, 4 RBIs to go with that. But I was just kind of standing there going, there's another elephant in this room that I should really address. So it was good to get a chance to talk to Venable about that and really analyze everything that went on in today's game, including the aftermath.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to give you kudos on that. You actually asked, the question that I had at top of mind. I mean, granted, it was, White Sox coming off the snide, losing 2 out of the 3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yet, I think that kind of takes a backseat to the way that everything was kind of handled. And I got to give props to the Chicago White Sox for doing a phenomenal job with their security and getting that 22-year-old fan out of there, because there is absolutely no room for that when you are, even if you're buying a ticket, you don't have the right to cause that kind of smurf, especially to a player that lost a loved one, like you had said back in 2017. Now, I'm going to let you go because I know that you are at the you're at Soldier Field right now, and you're kind of, like I said, you're doing double duty. What's on the double duty aspect of things right now?
So we are at the Chicago Fire game. They're having a Wednesday night matchup this week against the top team in the MLS, the Philadelphia Union. So we're hoping the little bit of haze that's covering the city right now. You should see the cloud coverage on the skyscrapers and the skyline of Chicago. It's actually kind of cool. But hopefully, that doesn't bring the rain. We got the humidity already after those 90-degree days, and we'll get a good match in tonight. So we'll get to it. We were at the Sky last night, and if everything goes according to plan, I'll be at Boomers tomorrow and White Sox all weekend. And actually, there's another Fire game Saturday night too. So I think I'll be running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah. Don't forget to hydrate. And I'm sorry to say that we got hit out here in downtown Elgin with a little bit of rain. The bands of rain were coming down pretty good. It is currently sunny, but I'm looking off to the east where you currently are, and it does look rather dark. And unfortunately, according to WGN, the weather is moving towards your direction, so you might have a weather stoppage because there was a little bit of lightning as well.
Yikes. Well, hopefully they kick fast and there's no little added time at the end of each half.
Yeah.
Get out, get a win,
Exactly. But thank you for hopping on. This has been Mike Napolitano reporting on the comments from the postgame with Will Venable here at WRMN 1410 AM. And like I said before, he is one of the hosts of On the Rise. Mike, have a good one. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Derrick. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. And like I said, that was Mike Napolitano calling in from Soldier Field. We're going to take a little break, try and get you that audio if I can somehow miraculously work it during during this time out, but we will be back after these messages. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM.
As veterans, we're no strangers to others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
The weather is getting better, and we know it's the time when ladders and DIYers come out. Before you start any new outdoor projects, ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any type of work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Well, welcome back to On the Rise with yours truly, Derrick, Geyer, and On the Rise. Nope, that was my previous show on Saturday mornings with Mike Napolitano, who had just called in. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports. Got so many thoughts going on in my head that it's basically like squirrel. AM 1410, WRMN, River Media Network. Sports. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to actually get it out there. I had Susie C. and the E-Train, Elliot, or the L-Train, Elliot Serrano of WRMN's morning show doing that, and I was absolutely tickled pink when I joined them at the butt crack of dawn this past Tuesday at 6 a.m. Like I said, we previously had Mike Napolitano on in here, calling in from one of the many one of the many on-location reporting jobs that he is doing for On the Rise and WRMN 1410 AM. And this is what he was actually able to get from Will Venable, manager of the Chicago White Sox, which you could also hear on WRMN 1410 AM.
MLB response and the Will, your thoughts on the MLB response and the fan response to the Ketel Marte incident today?
I didn't hear what MLB's response was. We certainly did everything we could to make sure that our sentiment was felt, and our apologies were sent over to the organization and to Ketel. And it was an unfortunate incident, and I'm glad that we were able to move forward here.
And that was, like I said, Mike Napolitano from On the Rise here at AM 1410 WRMN. So, yeah, everyone was actually feeling the output of it, or the emotional support for Martel. And, I mean, if you've ever lost a loved one, it's grueling. It's gut-wrenching. I mean, I still go through stuff after losing my dad, and it'll actually be the 1-year anniversary of his passing that's coming up on July 3rd. And I still have issues with it. And I knew that was coming because, unfortunately, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And it was stage 4 pancreatic cancer. When they got all the tests and everything run and done and all that stuff, I mean, everything, the cancer had spread, lungs, liver, etc., etc. I think there was probably like another couple of, organs and everything that were a part of the spread. And I knew that it was coming. I mean, we all braced for it. And when I say we, I mean my entire family braced for it. But, he did not have a chance to, mom's here one day, gone the next. And unfortunately, that, is a bad thing. The fan was kicked out, 22 years old, stupid kid. I'll just go out and say it. Kid was stupid. Shouldn't have said what he did. Just because you have tickets to the sporting event, it doesn't mean that you actually have the right to be verbally abusive to anyone, any of the fans in the stands, anyone around the area, and the players. It doesn't give you that right. And it looks like we have another phone call. So I'm just going to take this live on the air. Hello, caller. You are currently on Big Top Sports. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's your favorite fan right now. I talked to you the other morning. I was talking to 3 of you at one time. I only got 2 ears. It's Cleveland Dennis.
Oh, hello, Cleveland Dennis. Thanks for calling in. What you got on your mind right now?
There's a couple of Ford things, if you could hang tough with me. I heard about what that guy did. That's called stalking, ain't it?
Well, I'm not exactly sure if it's called stalking. It's called being an asshat.
Well,
that's for sure.
Yeah, no. It's really odd. It's almost coincidental for me because my son called me this afternoon, and a guy that he did a lot of work with and for up north and a lot of establishments with electrical, the guy is in jail for vehicular homicide, and they want to take it to trial, but I'm not going to bring all that up right now because it's not the time. But I'm calling from the other day, read something. Maybe you could reflect on it, and then I'm going to talk to you about the center fielder who forgot what day it was in the heat yesterday. That's called heat stroke. But let me just ask you this. Craig Counsell got criticized by the fans. I kind of watched the game. I wasn't paying that much attention because I had the stuff going on, but he didn't pull out the starter in the heat here at Wrigley Field on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the real gripe? It's just that they didn't pull that pitcher out after 5 or 6 innings.
Well, are you talking about? Okay, but are you talking about last night's Cubs game where?
No. Saturday. No, I'm mixing it up. I know. Specifically, I want to know. This is the older issue.
Okay.
Counsell was kind of called out by the fans because he did not pull the starter like in the 5th or 6th inning in all the heat at Wrigley Field on Saturday, and that was the windblown game, I think.
Yeah, that was basically, if I'm not they were playing.
Brewers.
No, I don't think it was the Brewers. I think they were playing Seattle, and that was when the ball was definitely flying out. Well, if I'm going back and you're referring to the Saturday game, the Cubs won that one 10-7 against the Mariners. And then the Sunday game, they got their doors blown off against the Mariners 14-6. And let me click on that real quick.
Okay, all I know is that there was a lot of fan blowback.
Okay. Well, I mean, there has been a little bit of an issue possibly with Craig Counsell leaving the starters in a little bit too long. But the way I'm going to look at it is that it's hot. I mean, you're talking one of the hottest weekends on, tap for this year so far. But, I mean, if you want to stick with me for about a 4-minute break, I would be more than happy to do a little bit more research on it.
Yeah, and then we could talk about Pico Armstrong forgetting what day it was.
Sure. I'm going to put you on hold real quick. And you are currently listening to Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM. We will be back after the bottom of the hour messages.
With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Credan. Brought to you by Progressive. Naperville police made several arrests in recent days. That, according to the Department of Reports, on early June 17th, a 35-year-old Elgin man taken into custody after attempted murder and multiple firearm charges. That same afternoon, a 19-year-old Park Forest woman was arrested at the police station for a controlled substance violation. Oak Park River Forest High School has secured $3.5 million in state grant money to support its ambitious geothermal heating and cooling system. The funding provided through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Opportunities Build Illinois Capital Projects Fund was officially released by the state lawmakers just last month as part of a new budget. An 11-year-old child has died after a 2-vehicle crash Monday evening in McHenry County. The sheriff's office reports that a 2016 Ford Transit van drove through a stop sign at Deer Pass Road and Kishwaukee Valley Road in unincorporated Marengo. The van collided with a 2012 Audi Q5 traveling east. With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Credan.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates. Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 p.m., then mostly cloudy with a low around 73. Looking ahead to tomorrow, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny with a high near 91. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a low around 71. Currently, it is 80 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Have you heard? Kohl's Instant Kohl's Cash event is happening now. That's right. You can get $10 Kohl's Cash to use instantly when you spend $25 or more. Get it today and spend it today on summer must-haves from your favorite brands. Yup, you definitely don't want to miss this. Get instant Kohl's Cash while you still can at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Offers end June 29th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora at Kohl's. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar, where the wild games come to score.
All right, welcome back to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, and AM 1410 WRMN River Media Network Sports. And on the line, we've got Cleveland Dennis. He wants to know what I thought and why everyone's so up in arms about Craig Counsell leaving in the pitchers. And what I can see, Cleveland Dennis, is the fact that it was just a really hot weekend, and they wanted to save as many arms as possible for this St. Louis Cardinals series that is going on, because you know obviously it is the series against the St. Louis Cardinals, one of the Cubs' biggest rivals, one of the biggest rivalries in baseball, and that is what I can think of. Now, if you were talking about Monday's game against the Cardinals, and why they left Ben Brown in, the reason. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it was Ben Brown. I think it was one of the games over the weekend. But go ahead. Let's talk about Ben Brown, because that's a issue or a picture of controversy.
Yeah, well, Ben Brown, he did have a very rough outing, to say the least. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 8 earned runs, all of the runs off of 2-run homers. So if you could do the math, that's 4 home runs that he gave up, and 2 of those base on balls that he actually gave up as well came around on the homer to score as well. Well, he is now down in Triple-A, and they called up someone else for the bullpen to give it a little bit more depth, I suppose, with Shota Imanaga coming back tomorrow. So there was that. I mean, that's long and short of it. I mean, he just had a clunker.
Okay, right. Yeah, well, Ken Brown, Brown had a clunker, but at the same time, didn't Tyone have a clunker yesterday, I think it was?
Oh, without a doubt.
He did. Well, he's throwing gopher balls. He's got real good-looking stats, but he's throwing gopher balls at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're kind of like jumping the shark a little bit, because I was actually going to be talking about this in coming up. I just wanted to get through the White Sox a little bit. But
Okay.
if you guys are following me on YouTube.com/@WRMN Radio, you will see what Cleveland Dennis is talking about, because I've got the stats up here for last night's game. So Jamison Tyone, yeah, he's had a couple of rough outings, to say the least. Pitched 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 base on balls, 3 strikeouts. And he definitely gave up some gopher balls in that game as well. Gave up all the runs for the Chicago Cubs, and for a team that was not supposed to be a power hitting team. I believe in the 2 games so far against the Cubs in this series, they've hit a total of either 6 or 7 home runs against the Cubs. That is no good, to say the least.
I agree with that, but that brings me up to the fact that our potential MVP center fielder had a mental gaffe, because what he did yesterday, he let in, I guess, the winning run, right? Because he thought there were 3 outs when he caught the ball.
Yeah, there's no guessing with that at all, because if PCA does what he normally does and he gets the ball in, the runner is at most taking third base. And
at most. Right?
At most. But with that being said, Mr. Brain Fart. And now all of a sudden the runner scores from second base on what should only have been out number 2 and a sacrifice fly. Well, and actually it was credited as a sacrifice fly and an RBI to whomever hit that one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because that's a mental mistake. I just thought.
Oh, absolutely.
When I watched the reruns on that, I thought, how embarrassing. And then they had that discussion on Marquee Network about how embarrassing it's going to be for him. And it's just a shame, because he's been kind of remarkable up to this point. But here he is in a big game at the opponent's park, hotter than HE double hockey sticks down there. And, he makes that mistake, and they go on to lose the game, in a game that, maybe could have helped out Tyone with his situation. But nonetheless, I'm watching and I'm listening to your show. I like it, and I might have another question later on in the show.
Well, thank you for calling in, Cleveland Dennis. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. And don't forget, tune into the morning show tomorrow with Susie C. and the L Train, Elliot Serrano, because at that 8 o'clock hour, they are going to be playing, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, what are they going to put in Elliot's mouth?
Oh, yeah. Well,
so there is that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So
okay.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, and you have a good rest of your Wednesday, Mr. Cleveland Dennis.
I'll be watching the game. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. And that was Cleveland Dennis. Now, what the further aspect of things that I was kind of going to, say with Cleveland Dennis is, now I was torn, because I am watching the game. I am yelling at the screen as I am seeing the runner scamper around, tagging up from second base, scampering around third, and scoring and laughing and being all sorts of jovial and getting high five from those St. Louis suckhead Cardinal fans and players. Oh, this is where I say the whole prerequisite, St. Louis sucks. And more on that in a moment. And PCA finally realizes that he needs to get the ball in, and he's looking dejected, and he is got his head down, and everyone is just like, Well, that just happened. And I'm dropping a little bit more colorful language than I am right now. But with that being said, the thing that got me was, well, do you pull him? Do you pull him from the game? Do you do what Cleveland Dennis wanted, and I'm sure a lot of other Chicago Cubs fans wanted to have happen after that mental fart? Didn't happen because PCA came up in the very next inning. He came up in the top of the inning. He gets a double duck snort down the left field line, gets it in there. Whoa, excuse me. I am so sorry. I hope that didn't go out loud. My bad. But when you drink energy drinks and, you talk, things might come out on the air. So I do apologize about that. That'll be on one of my finer blooper reels. Anyway, but yeah, so he's making up for it, or trying to make up for it. And then he comes up to bat in the 7th inning with runners on first and second base, 1 out, and decides to bunt. This is a gentleman that, if there is one thing that we have learned about him over the course of this season that he does poorly, it is bunting. There should be kind of what they did with Seiya Suzuki, and Seiya stealing bases and sliding head first. They need to ban PCA, who's going to be an all-star, by the way. They need to ban PCA from bunting unless it comes from manager Craig Counsell himself. That's it. Plain and simple. Don't bunt, because PCA has said it enough on his own. He swings hard, and that's how he's going to swing. He may look foolish. He may swing at, pitches out of the zone. This is who he is right now. And previously, on other editions of Big Top Sports, I've said that I really want him to cut down on his wild swings, his strikeout numbers. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. No, stupid. And when I say stupid, I mean STOOPID. I'm calling myself stupid here. No, stupid. You would be basically putting on a governor on a Porsche or a Ferrari or something. You do not want to put the governor on the Porsche or the Ferrari. I mean, unless your kids are going to be borrowing the car, but, that sounds like real first world problems right there. But anyway, you do not want to limit PCA's growth and development at the plate, except for, in my opinion, my humblest of humble opinions. Do not let PCA bunt. No, you're up there to swing. And especially with runners on first and third, and you are trying to tie the game, because that's how the game ended at 8-7 with the St. Louis Cardinals winning. You hit a fly ball to medium depth outfield, and that guy on third base is going to be scoring. Period. End of statement. On a break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports. Your host, Derrick Geyer, on AM 1410 WRMN.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at kaneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit kaneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Join your co-hosts Mike Tooman and Paul Burvitt on our weekly radio hour, Chief Guard of the Republic, where we talk about all things national security, defense, personal security, safety, and dealing with law enforcement situations. Call in 847-931-1410. Ask us questions. We will get you answers. Every week, Saturday, noon to 1 on 1410 AM WRMN Elgin. Streaming on WRMN1410.com. Chat with us on WRMN's YouTube live channel.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. That's 800-257-3148.
Welcome back to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on AM 1410 WRMN, River Media Network Sports. And as we go through, like, the boneheaded mistake that PCA did have last night, manager Craig Counsell was talking with one of the other radio stations, WSCR, The Score, on, I believe it was the Spiegel and Holmes show. And I'm paraphrasing here because this is where I got it from. I feel it is my duty to report where I got this information from. And like I said, I'm paraphrasing here. Craig Counsell, talking to those guys on The Score, was asked the question, did you feel like you needed to bench PCA? And without missing a beat, manager Craig Counsell said no. Why not? because everyone who's ever played the game at the level that PCA has played the game as a top-tier professional athlete has had some sort of gaffe like that. And coming back into the dugout, he was also asked whether or not he had mentioned anything to PCA about the play during the game, and he said no, that he texted him later on at night saying, shake it off, get him tomorrow. And of course, like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but that was the interview with the manager of the Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell, on 670 The Score, WSCR. And then Pete was basically interviewed at the end of last night's game on the Marquee Network. And, well, something that you don't I mean, how do you go ahead and not own up to the fact that you forget how many outs were there, and then, you know, having an absolute mind fart with the forgetting how many outs there were, one. And then he was also asked if he decided to bunt on his own. And which goes back to what I was saying before the break. It was all PCA's idea to bunt. Which is why I'm saying, and that, you know, another, you know, thing of courtesy of the Marquee Network, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I can't seem to find it right now. But that it was all PCA. PCA was basically trying to make up for the mental mistake that happened in the fourth inning. And then he was trying to, and the one thing, yeah, I absolutely hate it. I hate it, the way that it goes from like one end of the spectrum to the other with PCA in regards to swinging as hard as you can, trying to hit the ball as hard as you can, trying to hit the ball as far as you can, to laying down a bunt. Especially with the game on the line at that particular time in the seventh inning. One, that run where he lost track, that was in the fourth inning, by the way, and the Cubs came back to make it a close game. Two, in the seventh inning, you need to be doing what is making you an all-star right now, PCA. And I'm sorry, not sorry to be, you know, kind of like piling on. I know the Cubs game versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Excuse me, I was able to get away from the mic that time. And again, no cough buttons here. A little behind the show action. But you swing for the fences basically every single time, or at least it looks like it. You want to make hard contact. Do that with runners on first and third. Go for that 3-run jack. I know, you know, the whole strikeout. You don't want to strike out in that situation. You also don't want to ground into a double play either. But yet, you're giving up your at-bat, because that was an absolute horrible, horrible bunt back to the pitcher who threw you out, and no one scored. And 2 innings later, the Cardinals lock it down, get the save, and commit it back to a victory for themselves. And oh, lo and behold, in the last 10 games for the Chicago Cubs, they're 4-6. 4-6, and everyone on the team probably not Seiya Suzuki, is having a hard time hitting during this season. And oh, yeah, those St. Louis Cardinals that were about 5.5, 6.5 games back of the Cubs, they're now only 2.5 back. If the Cubs lose the next 2 games, they're only going to be a half game back. Oh, and what about the Brewers? The Brewers are currently 2 games back. And the team that I said at the very beginning of the season, and I think this was On the Rise, you could listen to On the Rise every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 with Mike Napolitano, Brandon Combs, and Dalton Cooper, along with Nick Johnston on the board, usually. I said that this is the team that you got to look out for because of the young roster that they have. Oh, yeah, and future Hall of Fame manager Terry Francona. The Reds are surging and only 4.5 games back as well. It's finally summer. It's finally getting hot out here in the Chicagoland area. And the Cubs are in the thick of a pennant race. We'll be back. You're listening to Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan. Brought to you by Progressive. Oak Park River Forest High School has secured $3.5 million in state grant money to support its ambitious geothermal heating and cooling system. The funding provided through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Opportunities Build Illinois Capital Projects Fund was officially released by the state lawmakers just last month as part of a new budget. An 11-year-old child has died after a 2-vehicle crash Monday evening in McHenry County. The Sheriff's Office reports that a 2016 Ford Transit van drove through a stop sign at Deer Pass Road and Kishwaukee Valley Road in unincorporated Marengo. The van collided with a 2012 Audi Q5 traveling east. Naperville police made several arrests in recent days. That, according to the Department of Reports, on early June 17th, a 35-year-old Elgin man taken into custody after attempted murder and multiple firearm charges. That same afternoon, a 19-year-old Park Forest woman was arrested at the police station for a controlled substance violation. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I am Tricia Grosser,
and this is what was happening in Elgin 100 years ago, June 23rd. An Elgin Pageant of Progress, to be sponsored by the Elgin Motor Club. The entire proceeds to go towards a fund to ensure the Kane County motorcycle officers will be held sometime in July, T.J. Schmitz, president of the Motorists Organization, announced today. We interviewed members of the Merchants Association yesterday, and they are favorable to the plan, declared Mr. Schmitz. The presentation will be much on the same order as Styles and Smiles show brought here the past 2 years by the Rotary Club. There will not be any gambling or wheels of chance allowed. Every cent of money cleared on the pageant will be turned over to a fund to provide insurance for our county motorcycle patrolmen. As it is now, the patrolmen have to buy their own gasoline, uniforms, and in case of accident, have to pay their own hospital and doctor bills. It isn't fair, and the Elgin Motor Club would like to see Kane County's highway patrolmen placed on par with the officers of other nearby counties. The patrolmen themselves feel that they ought to have some protection against accident or death, stated Mr. Schmitz. With such a fund raised, and in case of emergency, their families would be protected.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.com.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 p.m., then mostly cloudy with a low around 73. Looking ahead to tomorrow, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny with a high near 91. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a low around 71. Currently, it is 80 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Have you heard? Kohl's Instant Kohl's Cash event is happening now. That's right. You can get $10 Kohl's Cash to use instantly when you spend $25 or more. Get it today and spend it today on summer must-haves from your favorite brands. Yep, you definitely don't want to miss this. Get instant Kohl's Cash while you still can at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Offers end June 29th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora at Kohl's. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
For a little lighthearted lawlessness on Sunday afternoons, listen to Handle on the Law from 4 to 7 p.m. Handle on the Law is a unique combination of useful legal advice and outrageous handle remarks. Whether you're talking about Big Brother, big business, big legal problems, or Big Macs, you'll rarely find Bill without an opinion. His rapid-fire commentary gives listeners the information they crave in the way they crave it. It's Handle on the Law, Sunday afternoons from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick, Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
That's right. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports, and yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on AM 1410 WRMN River Media Network. Sports. And as we conclude with the talk about the Chicago Cubs and PCA and Craig Counsell. Oh, you know what? I never did actually put a pin into it, did I? So at first blush, I would have pulled PCA. I am not even going to lie, because that is not what I try to do here on Big Top Sports. I want to be as transparent as possible. I mean, when I mess up, you all know about it. You know, that's the way that I think that it should be. You know, you do the thumbs, not the finger, you know, all that fun stuff. But, I would have actually pulled PCA last night. Now, given the circumstances and given how hot it has been since this weekend and the Chicago Cubs and throughout the country and playing all these games in like excruciatingly dreadful heat. And don't get me wrong, they're getting paid very handsomely to do this, but it was a mental gaffe. PCA has been one of your most productive players throughout this season. I mean, he's got, at last time I checked, he had like a 3-something WAR, wins above replacement, only behind Aaron Judge. And I believe it was the big dumper, Kyle Rowley. Now, with that being said, the reason why you keep him in the baseball game last night is because he's frickin' PCA. This is, as far as I can tell, this is the only blemish on this season for the kid. And I say it because he's 22, 23 years old. He's a kid. Where it's going to happen. Everyone who ever played the game of baseball. Now, granted, I didn't play it at the level that PCA is or any of the, you know, the players playing tonight, Cubs versus Cardinals, and it's a 2-0 in favor of the Chicago Cubs in the top of the second. So that's good. But there needs to be a little bit saving grace. And the teachable moment came in the 7th inning when PCA bunted when he shouldn't have bunted. And I hope that was a teachable moment. I have absolutely no idea if it was a taught moment, because I am nowhere near St. Louis, the clubhouse, and what goes on, you know, in the Cubs organization, to say the least. But no more bunting, PCA. Please, Craig Counsell, take the bunt away from PCA. Unless you deem it necessary, take the bunt away from him, because that cost the Cubs last night, in my humble opinion. Okay, enough of that last night. Ooh, and now it is a 4-0 game for the Chicago Cubs versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Hopefully, Matthew Boyd can go out there, put up a couple of zeros, unlike the previous nights, and actually hold the suddenly powerhouse home run hitting St. Louis Cardinals to 0 runs in the next couple of frames, because that was certainly not the case with Tyone or Brown the previous 2 nights. Anyway, enough of that. I am moving on to the 2025 NBA draft. That's right. The draft for the next, I would say superstar. Hopefully it's a superstar. But here, I'll give you a little tease.
What are your first memories of falling in love with the NBA growing up?
Really just
Jeremiah Fears.
Kind of the Hall of Famers now, Steph Curry, KD, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo, guys like that.
It was kind of with video games a little bit. Like we got a Wii, so I had NBA Jam on the Wii, 2K, and we didn't really play video games in my house, but you could play those. My uncle played for the Bucks for like half a season, and so just talking to him too, like, because he knows all these guys, that really stimulated that love for the game.
Watching Kobe.
Cedric
Kobe, that is my favorite player of all time. The best player, in my opinion, but watching Kobe.
Definitely in 2016, watching the Atlanta Hawks, going there. I think they had the most winningest season at the time, and then the Warriors broke it. But just watching with my dad and being able to go up to Atlanta and watch those games is something, I hold very dearly.
I think, around the age of 7, I think I started watching like a lot of basketball. And, I started falling in love with the game. That was when, like, LeBron was on, like, the Miami Heat or something like that. So, like, that was when I was on a little bandwagon side.
All righty. And that was courtesy of USA Today. Let's see. And Brian Kalbrowski of the USA Today interviewing the future potential stars of the 2025 NBA draft. So, what we're heading into? The NBA draft is currently rocking it right now. And oh my goodness, the Chicago Bulls need all of the help that they could possibly get. Oh, for the love of God. I mean, there can only, so with the NBA season concluding, obviously today is the NBA 2025 NBA draft. I'm skipping over the fact that the OKC Thunder has won their first ever championship, although not their first ever organizational championship, because they've won plenty, or they won a couple with the Seattle Supersonics before they moved to OKC and Oklahoma City Thunder. But I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that. Going to have an interview tomorrow that I am going to bring to you with one Grant Leader from the Divided podcast. And I'm going to get his thoughts on OKC, his thoughts on the draft for the Chicago Bulls, his draft on why was Arturas Karnisovas and the executive VP of basketball operations, and why Mark Eversley, the general manager of the Chicago Bulls, and why, I'm pretty sure why Billy Donovan has been all rehired or brought back for the Chicago Bulls. I just can't believe it. But we'll address that on the other side of this time out. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on AM 1410 WRMN.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
Searching for a financial partner that truly has your best interest at heart? Join KCT Credit Union, where they're more than just a bank. They're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning profits go back to you in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. Become a part of KCT, where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit kctcu.org. Each account insured up to $250,000 by member's choice. This institution is not federally insured.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is the Chef of Love, Chef Jannard, TV host and restaurateur. My grandparents harvested their land to sell food and share this overflowing bounty with our community. Grandma said, for every yam we pick, we give one away. In the world they cultivated, I love preparing and eating dinner with my family on Sundays. When our resources changed, food assistance programs sustained us. They gave me fuel to start my first culinary business at 16 years old, and inspiration to donate the extra food in my community. Through my life, I've developed an appetite to work with others to ensure everyone has access to the nutritious food we need to thrive. Together, we can help end hunger. Come on, join the movement with Feeding America by volunteering, donating, and advocating. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to Big Top Sports with your host, Derrick Geyer, here on AM 1410 WRMN, River Media Network Sports. You know what? That just doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right at all. I need to do that one again. River Media Network Sports. All right, that felt much, much better. And with the NBA draft going on, it is official. Dallas has officially picked Cooper Flagg #1 overall. And at number 2, San Antonio Spurs draft Dylan Harper. Why does that name sound familiar? Because that is the son of Ron Harper. And that's being reported by the New York Times senior writer, Sam Vecini. Just wanted to give a little shout out to that. But it also brings me back to the Chicago Bulls. And if you were, listening or actually watching on youtube.com/@WRMN radio, you would have seen the research that I was doing about the Chicago Bulls, the front office, Billy Donovan, and how long they have actually been with and a part of the Chicago Bulls. Now, with that being said, as you can look up on the screen here, like I said, if you're watching, these three guys have been on the Bulls for, since September 2020. 5 years. As of June 2025, they have been here for 5 years. And what have they done? I was absolutely flabbergasted that AK, or Karnisovis, Executive VP of Basketball Operations for the Bulls, and Mark Eversley, General Manager for the Chicago Bulls, have been retained to keep on doing whatever it is that they are doing. It's from an outsider meatball fan's perspective. I just happen to have a microphone in front of me. But yet, yes, I am a meatball fan. I am surprised that there was no movement in getting rid of AK or Eversley. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of other fans of the Chicago Bulls were feeling the same way. Why not get rid of them? And the only thing that I could potentially see from an outsider looking in, I don't even have the insider contacts or whatever. Like I said, I'm qualifying this as being a stupid STOOPID meatball fan of the Chicago Bulls. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of the loyalty that Jerry and Michael of the Reinsdorf families, of the Reinsdorf family, not families, show the people in their organizations. And when I say organizations, I am referring to the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox, which you can also hear on these very airwaves, WRMN 1410 AM, because we are the home of the Chicago White Sox for the 2025 season. And you know where I'm going with this, or at least by now you should. Also, home of your Chicago Bears. That's right. Not exactly sure what we are going to be doing. Still in talks with the production staff here at WRMN, the sports department. I know we will be doing a pre-pre. I do know we will be doing a post-post. That is every single game that the Bears play. That's right. And if you want to be a part of this, and you want to advertise here on WRMN 1410 AM, you can during the Bears game. You could potentially do it during one of our shows. Do it during my show, Big Top Sports. Do it during one of the Saturday sports shows, On the Rise, or The Truth About Chicago Sports. Or heck, you could even do it with the WRMN morning show. Do it during the local community hour. Out to lunch from 10 to 1 with Mac McNeil. Democracy Now! 1 to 2. Talk Time with Tammy 2 to 4. Or with Sonar, a political talk show from 4 to 6, which leads into my show when the Chicago White Sox, and you could also advertise with the Chicago White Sox as well, when the Chicago White Sox aren't truncating my show. there's also the opportunities where we could potentially, any one of the shows that I just named off, can do a remote at your location, at your store, at your car dealership, at your eatery, at your ice cream shop, at your bank, whatever. Hey, Brandon, thank you. Brendan, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. And of course, any of the other shows. Elliot's Torn Quadcast on Saturdays, when he, as well, is not getting truncated by the Chicago White Sox. Okay, enough of that. But if you want to call in and be like Cleveland Dennis earlier, or Mike Napolitano, call in the studio line at 847-931-1410. Or you can use the text line, 505-926-1410. Be a part of the big top sports community. Because it's not about what I'm doing here. It's about the listeners out there. Cleveland Dennis wanted to get something off his chest. We talked about it for a good 10 minutes, I think. Sorry, I'm not very good with math, which is why I'm behind a microphone. But that's neither here nor there. I love the interaction. When I was sitting in with the morning show on Tuesday, I absolutely loved the interaction with the callers. It's fun. It's exciting. Oh, and that music means we are headed to break. But no, seriously, if you have some sports thoughts, it's not just my sports thoughts. You want to get something off your chest regarding sports, not about the geopolitical climate, or not about what was the guy from San Francisco talking about, or not climate change, not any of that stuff, but sports. NASCAR, AUSL, Athletes Unlimited Softball League. They're in their break right now. But currently, going to get back into the NBA draft that is going on right now. You are listening to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM Elgin.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan. Brought to you by Progressive. The Kane County Recorder's Office has completed a significant technology overhaul, moving its core IT infrastructure into the cloud. The migration has enabled the county to remove over half of its physical servers and reduce storage devices by nearly 2/3. The Elgin Police Department is actively seeking applicants for the role of public safety telecommunicator. The deadline to submit applications for this critical support position is Monday, June 30th at midnight. Public safety telecommunicators play a vital role in the emergency response by handling calls and dispatching police, fire, and medical services. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is set to announce his bid for a third term. Not according to sources close to his campaign. The formal announcement will take place at events in Chicago and Springfield, although specifics remain under wraps. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
When disaster strikes, flood or fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response and same-day service for any residential, commercial, or industrial emergency across the Chicagoland area. With over 30 years of experience, they've got the expertise, manpower, and equipment to handle any size loss fast. They follow strict IICRC guidelines to restore your property the right way, the first time. Their team values transparency, constant communication, and strong ethical standards because your peace of mind matters. Licensed, bonded, and insured, they're here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com and let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
This is Will Walker with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with a low around 73. Looking ahead to Thursday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny with a high near 91. Thursday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with a low around 71. Currently, it is 84 and overcast. With your Fox Valley forecast, I'm Will Walker on WRMN, the talk of the town.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back to Big Top Sports here on AM 1410 WRMN. So let's see, we're already in to the fourth round. And what do we have here? Sam Vicini, senior writer for The Athletic, has put up that the Charlotte Hornets have drafted Con Newpel. Okay, I'll just go with Newpel. I think the K is silent, but it's Knueppel. Newpel. And he is the 19-year-old Duke wing, drafted here in the first round draft number 4 pick. And before him, it was VJ Edgecombe. VJ was drafted from, I don't know where he drafted from. Yeah, let's see. A Western Conference scout sizes up VJ Edgecombe. The number X pick. Very compelling radio. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I have absolutely no idea where he's from. But you've got, oh, there it is. VJ Edgecombe. I'll go ahead and I'll put this up on the screen there. He is a shooting guard from Baylor. Drafted number 3 by the Philadelphia 76ers. All right. Now, with that being said, we're going to the Bulls, and I do not believe I am going to be on the radio, and I am not going to be here for the 12th pick of this draft for the Chicago Bulls. And I've already gone through some of the disheartening stuff in my humble, meathead, stupid, STOOPID sports takes, with the Chicago Bulls, is the fact that I couldn't believe that they went ahead and they re-signed AK and or Eversley. I can, however, believe that they kept on Billy Donovan because he has proven that he could teach the younger players. Now, will AK and Eversley be around at the end of the 26th season? Well, that remains to be seen because, if you are on the YouTube site, you could see that I've got pulled up how many contracts for the Bulls are expiring at the end of 2026. And there are 6 of them. Vucevic, Hortor, Tsumu, Carter, White, and Collins. And Lonzo Ball also has a $10 million team option for 26 and the 27 season, 2026 to the 2027 season. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 expiring contracts. Lonzo Ball, Nikola Vucevic, Kevin Huerter, Ayo Dosunmu, Javon Carter, Kobe White, and Zach Collins. Not only that, they got to make some financial decisions whether or not they are going to bring back players for this upcoming season. Or they need to decide if they are going to trade away these expiring contracts and potentially move up in the draft to get better players or not. And if they do not move up into the draft, they need to decide who they are going to take at number 12. Now, given the way that the season ended for the Bulls, given the way that the whole 3 outcome way that AK was talking about it during the season and the trade deadline this past season. There are 3 outcomes, and I am paraphrasing here, but if anyone who follows Chicago Bulls basketball, they are well aware that AK said, well, we could sneak into the playoffs and stand pat. We can do the play-in game tournament for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th, 20th, whatever year in a row. And I digress. I'm joking. I'm playing around because it's 2nd, 3rd, 4th. I don't know. I'm banging my head against the microphone here. Yeah. And then there's or we could totally tear it down, depending on how the team, or we could let it ride and see how things have gone. Well, you already know how things went. You got your arses handed to you in the play-in game against the Miami Heat yet again. The more things change, the more that they stay the same. However, you did have Lonzo Ball play this year, so that was a plus. But going forward, as a part of the we fan base, been to 2 or 3 games this year, and I'm always amazed at how packed the UC is. But it's also the number 1 attendance venue in the association. They lead the league in attendance, despite being absolutely dreadful record-wise, absolutely infuriating with the way that the front office and everything does stuff. But with that being said, who are the Bears? Not yet. We have already done that. Bears season's coming up. Who are the Bulls' potential picks going to be at number 12? Colin Murray Boyles, a forward from South Carolina, known for his defense and versatility and ability to guard multiple positions. Derrick Queen, a center from Maryland, considered a skilled offensive big man that offers size and scoring ability, yet lacks conditioning and defensive consistency. Kasparis, oh boy. And being that he's a guard from Illinois, you would think that I would know this name. Yasin Yakanias? Man, I am so sorry. Guard from Illinois, known for his unselfish playmaking and size, that allows him to play off the ball. Yet he needs a little bit more shooting consistency. Noah Esengui, a forward from Germany, a young prospect with great size and athleticism. He has a 3-and-D floor, which means he can shoot the 3-ball, and he is pretty good on the defensive end of things, although he needs to develop his offensive skills. So, I mean, and what are they looking for? They need help in the front court. Vucevic's contract is ending. I mean, and who is the best player available in that potential spot? With any of the 6-7 guys that I named of the expiring contracts at the end of this upcoming season, you're going to package them with the draft pick to potentially get a higher prospect, a higher rated prospect? Oof. It's kind of a tough decision. Not only that, but it's also kind of a headbanger, a head scratcher, leaving the decision up to the individuals that are at the helm currently, because nothing has changed over the last 2 or 3 years. And it is frustrating as all Hades. It's just frustrating. Frustrating. But we've only got a little bit more time left on this Wednesday, hump day, June 25th, 2025. We'll be back after this short break. You're listening to Derrick Geyer on Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his CDL, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended the case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety tests as well as the breathalyzer test. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcript from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
All right, as we bring this show, Big Top Sports, to the conclusion here on AM 1410 WRMN River Media Network Sports. NBA 2025, the 2025 NBA draft is currently going on. Cooper Flagg, number 1 from Duke, forward from Duke. Dylan Harper, guard from Rutgers. VJ Edgecombe, guard from Baylor. Wow, a lot of Duke players here. Then we've got Con Newpel, guard from Duke. Ace Bailey, guard from Rutgers. And Trey Johnson, guard from Texas at number 6. I am probably not going to be around for the Bulls pick at number 12, but I already feel like I've beat that horse senseless as far as my thoughts are concerned as far as that goes. Hopefully they do something. Hopefully something, anything. I don't know. Maybe they need to. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm tossing my hands to the sky because I'm shrugging my shoulders because I haven't the slightest idea what the Bulls and the front office and the organization are doing, because it seems like they are forever in purgatory. As I had mentioned earlier in the show, Mr. Grant Leader will be on tomorrow. I'm going to have a taped interview with him. He is from the Divided podcast with co-host Tony Tilo Lopez. We'll be talking about OKC's championship. We'll be talking about this first round of the draft, which will be concluded by the time we come back on air tomorrow at 6 p.m. after a political talk show with Sonar Dennis Green. And, of course, tune in tomorrow. Tune into tomorrow's morning show with Susie C. and Elliot L. Train Serrano, especially at the 8 o'clock hour, where it's going to be, guess what Sonar, no. Guess what Elliot puts in his mouth directly from Susie C. That should be rather interesting in it of itself. In and of itself. That's what I said. Oh boy. Congratulations are definitely in order for former Blackhawks defenseman Duncan Keith, who has been elected into the NHL Hall of Fame. You remember that guy? He's only responsible for, 3 Stanley Cups for the Chicago Blackhawks. Also, which will be drafting potentially third this coming Friday on the 28th. 26th, 27th. No, the 27th. I'm good with my dates, too. We'll be drafting potentially third this coming Friday. So, anyway, Duncan Keith, you want to hear about why? I mean, other than he's actually one of the better Chicago Blackhawks defensemen since probably, a guy by the name of Chris Chelios. Let's see. We've got Duncan Keith, got no teeth. Courtesy of 670, the score. Formerly of 670, the score. But anyway, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, going back to 2010, 2013, and 2015. Played in a total of 1,256 games. Scored a total of 106 goals, 540 assists, for a grand total of 646 points. This is the impressive stat right here. He's got, because he was a top 1 or 2 defenseman for the Blackhawks for so long. He was a plus minus of 159. Not bad over a career. As I mentioned, 3-time Stanley Cup winner with the Blackhawks. 2-time Norris Trophy winner back in 2010 and 2014 for the top defenseman in the league those years. He was also a Conn Smythe Trophy winner in 2015. Best player in the playoffs in 2015. 2-time, I hate to say this. No, actually I don't, because I really like Duncan Keith. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 2010 and 2014. Hell of a couple of years for Duncan Keith in 2010 and 2014. So that is for certain. The award and recognition for Duncan Keith is richly deserved. And before I get off these airwaves tonight, the Chicago Cubs are currently up on the St. Louis Cardinals in the bottom of the 4th. Cubs lead 7-0 over the much-hated rivals, St. Louis Cardinals. Suck. Just go down the batting list here. Ian Happ is having himself a game. 3 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 RBIs, 1 jack. Let's see. Who else is tearing it up today? Oh, there we go. Reese McGuire batting in the 9 hole. He's got himself 1 jack and 2 ribbies in 2 plate appearances. That's what I like to see. That is exactly what I like to see. On the mound, well, let's see. What else? Who else is contributing? King Tuck, he's got a home. Wow. Okay, long ball time for the Chicago Cubs. King Tuck hit a jack. Yeah, we've got Michael Bush with 2 hits, 2 for 2, 2 runs scored, 1 ribby, 1 steak. And Matthew Boyd appears to be holding it down currently with 3 scoreless innings pitched and only 2 hits given up. I want to thank my guest earlier from today, Mikey Napolitano, Mr. Gravy himself, Mike Napolitano, for calling in earlier today, doing a little bit of double duty, triple duty, quadruple duty, calling in from after the Chicago White Sox game, after their victory today over the Arizona Diamondbacks, and what Will Venable and the Chicago White Sox had to say in regards to the unfortunate circumstances yesterday with a idiot 22-year-old making really despicable comments about someone's mother's passing. Martell. But you are currently listening to, and thank you for Cleveland Dennis calling in. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports, AM 1410 WRMN.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN, AM 1410, Elgin time, 8 o'clock.
Not quite 8 o'clock, but it is what it is. You're getting a little extra here because I'm not exactly sure what is going on and why it's not going to commercial, but it is not. I should probably just stop messing around. Anyway, you fine folks out here in Elgin, have a great rest of your day. WRMN 1410 AM.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan. Brought to you by Progressive. The Elgin Police Department is actively seeking applicants for the role of public safety telecommunicator. The deadline to submit applications for this critical support position is Monday, June 30th at midnight. Public safety telecommunicators play a vital role in the emergency response